Hello, and welcome back to Hourglass Season 2, Episode 10. This is Zelda here, and you might be wondering, Zelda, what the heck's going on? Why are you starting your episode like this? Well, let me tell you a little bit of a story. How about while we mine a few more blocks? I AFK at the farms overnight usually, and in case something happens, if my computer crashes or, some weird something or other happens, I always take all my gear off and tuck it away nice and safe in my ender chest. And a lot of times I show this on my stream. I show which farm I'm going to park myself at for the night, and I show myself setting up so that I can AFK there before, ending my stream. Well, I might, I might have just learned a hard lesson. I don't want to do that anymore, necessarily. I got pranked pretty good, at my last AFK session. I was AFK at our Hoglin farm, so that I could get some leather, so that I can start doing armor stand work. And, as you can probably tell by my armor bar, I don't have much armor on. And that is because without anything on, without helmet or chestplate or elytra, pants or boots, yeah, you leave yourself completely susceptible to a dispenser trick. And I guess I should stop. Without further ado, let me show you my new gear. Hi. This isn't quite how you would expect Zelda to look. So, I'm sporting some new kit. I've got a skeleton horse head. I've got a beautiful black enchanted leather tunic, white pants, and black boots, I think. I can't quite tell what colors they are, but I think it's black and white. Get up here. So, about that, I decided I'm going to be a really good sport about it, and I'm going to try. I'm going to try and keep this as long as I can. A couple people in the Discord for our server have already jokingly said, "Oh, what if we, kill Zelda, take her gear?" No, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to keep it, but it does present a few challenges, namely flight. We have no flight at the moment, so I've got to be very careful. I am also just mining here in the end, so I don't have a lot of gear on me anyway, but I'm trying to not keep my rockets in my hotbar when I'm working on the server at the moment, just so that I don't get in the habit of trying to take off tall buildings and then splat. So all we're doing today, and as you might have noticed, I'm shifting a little bit different than I normally would. I learned a new trick, and let me see if I can show you guys. Not many people talk about it, but sneak toggle allows you to just stay crouched, and it helps a lot with if you're working around the void like I am. So if I'm not paying attention and I might accidentally keep just going in a straight line and walk myself into a void. No, that won't happen if you're on sneak toggle. And then you can also reassign your key to one that you aren't gonna bump. So that's a couple things that I've been doing to help with my mining process in the nether, just so that I can kind of grind a little bit easier. It also helps me not walk too fast for the blocks, because otherwise then you're walking with your face in the block the whole time, which is kind of annoying. But I've got a lot of progress done here. Not me, just myself, but everybody's been grinding. We have several more levels than what we left off with at the end of last episode. But I think I'm going to take a break from this, because after looking at Endstone for a super duper long amount of time, you start to go a little bit loopy. I need to go look at some of the other colors in this game, some of the other biomes even. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I'm going to wear out this pick here, but I'm going to bring you guys back after this is the last pick that's over in the supply chest. So I'm going to wear this down, go mend the picks, and then I'm going to go back to the spawn spawn chunks for just a few minutes and work out of the nether on something new. Well, not new, one of the older builds, but new to my eyes. So we will be right back. And welcome back from the end. We've got a few things going on. Let's start with the fact that I am back in my regular armor. The prank did not last very long because I chose a project that was apparently much more dangerous than I intended. So my intention was to be a good sport, and after my first death on this current project, I did re-put the cursed binding gear on, and then after my second death, I left it off. But you'll notice that we also have like a absolute massive field of view at the moment. This is a lot higher field of view than I play with normally. So normally if you look, that's cranked up. I'm usually at 85. So this is how we normally are. But for the project that I want to show you guys today, I want to make sure that we see as much in the screen as possible. And we're also going to have our shaders on so that I can show you in its full glory. But this is where I came back to after being in the end. It's nice and bright and sunny and colorful out here. And the project I chose to work on is down here in this hole is the coral, the customized coral and the Oceana storage. So originally, I'm trying to move kind of slow so that the field of view doesn't mess with me too bad. Originally, when I introduced this topic last time, I only had this big red one here that's actually a water drop into, or like the water elevator for the mob drops for the creeper farm. And then I had this yellow one and this red one. But as you can tell, I've made a little bit of progress. We have all of the customized corals in, and I even have one down here. Oh, of course I would fall. I am not used to this field of view. I'm so sorry. It's just definitely the best way because we can see more of this area. I'll put it back to normal and show you guys. It looks a little bit more claustrophobic in here because of the corals when I have my regular field of view. But basically I was able to get one additional coral down here that's like helping support this arch. So now that we've seen it in all of its beautiful, all completed glory with this like crazy field of view that I'm super not used to playing in and like keep falling down and dying, I would like to switch back. So let's go back to where I normally am. So yeah, so here's where it looks like there's not as much warping or distortion, but you can't quite see as much of it at once. So I did end up going with concrete powder for the pink one, the pink coral and the blue coral as the kind of middle textured block where I was using gold and nether wart blocks before, and I did stick with one of the crimson woods from the nether for the magenta. It fit well enough. So each one of them has a little bit of extra personality. They branch or they like cluster different, but I feel like it all works. I feel honest to goodness, like it all works. So since this is just the update, obviously, or like this is just like a mid-progress update, there's still several things for this project I want to do. Namely, I don't want there to be any stone left in this project. So all of the stone walls, all of the stone we're walking on right now, I want to customize this so that it really is all 100% customized. So the part that we're walking on now is going to turn into a combination of smooth sandstone, and sand to give it a really beachy feel when you walk down here and then go over to storage. And the walls are still slightly undecided. That's why I haven't tackled them yet. It would have been probably easier as I was pillaring up to do the coral embed if I had replaced the wall as I was working too, but I didn't know what I liked for it. So I've got to try some things. So I think I'm going to start by putting in the ground, And then over here, I'm going to set up the storage next. Is going to be really important because I still don't know if I have enough space here. So I've got to set up the storage. I want to customize the floor. And then we've got to decide if we're going to bring up this fog effect any further. Because originally what we were going to do is we were going to bring the fog effect all the way up to here to help hide the really not natural shape of the creeper farm. But after looking at some like cave pictures for like cave lakes or cave ponds or whatever, it looks kind of cool to have it as this big void that just like goes straight dark and deep right away. So now I'm torn. So I've also got to decide if we don't bring the fog up, then how are we going to flood the place? Because there is concrete powder there, but also I used concrete powder on the corals. So, still so many decisions to make. But I think I'm going to leave you off here and then I'm going to get to work like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that in the shaders before. The wool glows. Sorry, distracted. I'm gonna work on the ground and I'm gonna work on the redstone, and I might set up a couple sample sections for the walls to see what we like best, and then I will be back. And welcome back. I have a couple things to update right now, but as you can tell behind me, it's not the redstone, it's not the storage. I don't know why, but I'm struggling to get started on that. I do have, however, some wall sampling in. Now, I've got options. I've got options, and I've got a conversation going right now with Misty about the ice farm. Oh, that's cool. So she's having problems running it right now. It's not fully AFKable because there's some dead spots in the water, but looks like she's gotten quite a bit already, even though it's not fully AFKable. So, sorry, slight distraction there. But the wall samples are kind of separated into 3 options. So we have the lighter blocks. So that is sand, sandstone, smooth sandstone, up in this top side here. This is my color palette, so there's not a piece of birch. Oh, whoops. I was testing terracottas with it too, but none of the terracotta colors matched very well. But those are some of the light color options. So those are what I tried on this wall. And then on this section here, this was the one I committed to really strongly to begin with because I thought this might work. So I was going to do a gradient. I usually do a gradient on walls, but I was like, ooh, that's going to look really weird. And also I decided that this is actual black terracotta. It is too dark in here. I want this area to be really bright and colorful and very cheery. And I think if the walls are that dark, it's going to look just, almost oppressive in a way. So I lined out a bunch of other blocks for the brown palette, and I think that the dark oak plank is also too heavily textured because I want the color and the texture of the corals to pop off the wall basically. So I'm going to rule those 2 blocks out. So if I do use browns, it's going to be these kind of more neutral and slightly softer textures, but definitely not a gradient. So what I did try then next was to go around kind of like the coral where it's embedding into the walls was actually affecting the blocks, like it's pulling the nutrients out. So that's why it looks like, that's why I used the soul soil. And I like this pretty good, except like I mentioned, it's still too dark. So then I tried a gray variant, and the gray variant looked pretty decent to me at first, except for the fact that the tones in the colors, it's not, they're all kind of medium tones. So like the coral kind of doesn't pop as much. So too dark here, too similar here. So that's what led us to trying the sand and the sandstone, and then endstone and strip birch. And I've got to be careful Watching Max sign in, I'm actually kind of nervous about. The other thing that I wanted to mention today when coming back, I was going to go through this a little bit faster, was my hope, but I'm slow at talking. We have an event going on the server, so while we think about which block palette is the best for the walls, I'm gonna go to sleep. All of it gets dug out. So I'm gonna sleep, and then I'm gonna oh no, someone else slept. I'm gonna go show you guys the reason I'm concerned that Max just signed on right after I did. So let's go over here real quick. So this is completely just impromptu. There's a little shack over here that Glorious Wolf is setting up an event on the server called Hourglass Assassins. And week 1 starts today. Today is the 13th. So I signed up yesterday, and when we come in here, there's a bunch of rules. I will just let you pause to read if you want. Basically, the option is if you sign up, you get a target. So you put your name in the barrel, and then now when we push this button, we get our target. If it's myself, then I have to put it back and try again. But if it's not me, then this is the person we're going to kill. Now, I'm not going to show it because this episode is actually going to come out partway through the week. So we'll just have to see if I get hit or if I can get my target. And if not, we might get some resolution next week. So stay tuned, and we'll see if Zelda's an okay, like, assassin in training, or if I'm just target practice and target fodder for the other members. So with that said, I gotta be careful. I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording here, because I know me. I am going to flash over this piece of paper and accidentally reveal my name. So I will come back to you when I either have some more storage progress for the coral, the Oceana storage, or a decision on the walls, and the walls are completed. And then, or if there's an update to Hourglass Assassin. So thank you, Glorious Wolf, for adding a little bit of anticipation, nervousness, fear, I don't know, excitement maybe, to the server. This should be fun. So we'll be back. Well, guys, I have something to report. It did not take very long for the assassin shenanigans to begin. I'm going to show you guys my name now, because I get to include it in this week's episode. Yeah, so if we look right here, I got Blinketmancer slated, which is Blink slated on the server, and you will see he's actually on right now. Now, I don't have to go figure out where he's at because, well, we just had some shenaniganery. So, let me play those clips for you. Okay, this is going to be a pretty quick rundown, but basically what happened first for the Hourglass Assassins is Glorious Wolf let me know that he was working on a setup at the graveyard where we were going to keep our point system for the event. And needless to say, it was an ambush. I am so glad I had the foresight to realize and make sure that I was recording, because, yeah, totally ambushed me. And what ensued was the worst PvP, like hide and seek in spawn. No one really came out victorious in the end, and I'm not sure how much of the clips I'll be able to show, because we pretty much, it took about 20 minutes or so in game, and then I finally called it off for a truce for wandering trader that had come into spawn. So I wanted to get the mini blocks. Which it seems like it worked out fine because Glorious Wolf had to sign offline, so we probably couldn't have resolved our differences in this first interaction. But he is my assassin. Apparently I am his target, and I think he felt a little silly, or I'm not sure exactly, but he gave himself away early. So then I was on to him. But it didn't last long. Like, my caution didn't have to last too long because you'll see next. Okay, maybe not next. I decided to show one more clip from the first ambush that Glorious Wolf got me with. So I had mostly stuck to the ground as a way to, like, you know, I was shifting, I was hiding around the builds, and then when I took flight, he immediately must have heard my rocket. And so then he was able to pinpoint me, and so we started trying to get each other in the air. I am a terrible shot. I am an absolute terrible shot, which is one of the reasons why I thought maybe this would be a bad idea for me to try to be an assassin, because I am not good at PvP in general. But it was kind of funny because in the middle of trying to avoid being assassinated, my assassination target signed online. So I had to I was gonna try and catch Blank in some friendly fire and get him that way, but when my totem popped, I got scared. I started panicking because I didn't really have a lot of resources, and one of the things that I'm kind of gonna do through this event is not overgear. I'm gonna try to, you know, think on my feet, rely with what I've got at the time to make my escapes. So I did start gearing up a little better after this first encounter, but yeah, that's the start. So since Glorious Wolf had to sign out, I knew I was going to be safe for a little bit, and I also knew Blink was on the server, so I had an opportunity to maybe try out my hand at some reconnaissance missions. So I spent some time looking around for Blink. He had mentioned he was mending his pick at his new favorite place on the server, and I'm unsure still what he was referring to with that. So I looked in a couple of the places that I'd been on the server, because that was the hint he gave me. He's like, you've seen it, you've been there, but I couldn't find him, and so gave up on that. I was like, okay, I will find another better way to do this. And then went back to the end and was digging in the end when I got a second ambush by Glorious Wolf that unfortunately I didn't get recorded, but then I had to log off for supper, and I realized as soon as I logged off that Glorious Wolf saw where I logged off. He saw where I was standing. So the next clip will be me logging in. And here I am logging back in after supper, realizing that Glorious Wolf saw exactly where I signed out. So I did, like I mentioned, I did want to be a good sport for this and not, you know, overgear or just hide, or in this case, just buzz out before he even saw me. I found out later, after all the shenanigans were completed, he was actually in the middle of texting one of his friends, and that's why he missed me log back in. But he was like set up and ready, and then I'm like, oh hi, bye, and then it just kind of evolved from there. So I was trying to find a strategy that I could use to kind of help even the playing field, since I was at the slight disadvantage of being the target. So I was using the Endermen as shields, trying to deter any attacks, but several attacks landed on me without peeving the Enderman off. So I don't know that it worked exactly well, but it did. It didn't help me with my defense, but it helped me strategically with my offense, because the Enderman softened up Blink for me. And then when he hit the ground, popped his totem, and then I was able to. I landed 2 bow shots on him, but the Enderman's got the final kill. I think, though, that we agreed in chat that I will get a kill point because, I mean, really using the Endermans was part of my strategy. So I'm not sure how long this voiceover needs to go to cover the clips that I'm going to share. But if there's any dead time, I'm just going to let you guys listen to some music and watch the fighting ensue. So I showed the last bit of the clip where I was recovering Blank's gear because Glorious Wolf used it as the perfect opportunity while my guard was down to kill me. And then to add insult to injury, because he had completed his target, which was me for the week, we returned the names to that barrel. And then later that night, not Humo joined and caught me absolutely unawares in the end again. So here's a little bit of clip from that and my second death.
Got me running circles for your kiss. So darling, take my hand, you got to understand. I don't wanna just be friends. Come away with me and live my fantasy. I don't wanna just be friends. So darling, take my hand, you got to understand. I don't wanna just be friends. Come away with me and live my fantasy. I don't wanna just be friends.
So I hope you enjoyed all of the Hourglass Assassin shenanigans already. But guess what? That's not going to be the end of it, because there is something that I completely forgot. Rule number 6. You get 2 targets a week. Return to the barrel if you've had them that week, or you draw yourself. So, guys, I already returned my one, my Blinkman Sir Slated ticket here, or paper, named paper. And I've got to redraw another one. So I think that's where we're going to leave. Oh, sorry. All the signs make it hard for me to do that point of view. We're going to leave off here for the week, because with all of the shenanigans, yeah, I was going to hopefully have the End Island clip to show as it was all dug out, or I was going to have some decisions made and completed Oceana storage, but I'm pacing myself this season. Like, I really don't want to burn out, so I'm enjoying the fun, like, kind of not project parts of the game as much as I can. So what I would say about this project, though, is the one thing I forgot to mention was the blocks that I was testing. So I did have individual sections of each of the gray ones, and I had kind of separated those out by individual types too. And this was like the most fully fleshed out idea. So if you guys have any recommendations or comments, or if you have a favorite of the wall options, please let me know, because this progress is going to be on temporary hold for, you know, just while I get the sorting sorted out. Get the sorting sorted out. I'm going to put a break on the decoration so that I can finally resolve all of these storagey items, because there is a lot that needs to go in here, and I still need to just buckle down and do the storage. So I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna draw my last assassin name. You guys leave a comment for what you want the walls in Oceana to look like, and then we will be back next week with some more Hourglass builds and shenanigans. I can't get over how crazy just dying a couple times was. The only downside is for AFK sessions, I lost all my levels because Zelda wasn't smart enough to think ahead and enchant stuff, but with the like 300 plus levels. So between me and Blank, we lost over 600, almost 700 levels. Whoops. So if I do AFK experience farm overnight, I'm going to have to pay attention and use those levels up so that I don't die with them and feel bad and guilty and stuff. But that's it. That's all I got. Have a great week.